never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. I am so grateful, for I know my path is blessed by love, so full and graceful. I can trust in every step, for I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. In a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. True never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. I am so grateful for this life I have to live. Oh, and I am so grateful for all I have to give. For I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. I am so grateful, for I know my path is blessed by love, so full and graceful. I can trust in every step, for I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing heart full of love. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. True, never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, in a true, never-ending source from above. True, never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. I am so grateful for this life I have to live. Oh, and I am so grateful for all I have to give. For I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. I am so grateful, for I know my path is blessed by love, so full and graceful, I can trust in every step. For I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. In a true never-ending source Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love.
God morning, happy Sunday and happy April. We do indeed live in a world of abundance, don't we? What a glorious spring day it is here in Maryland. Welcome to our Sunday celebration. My name is Julia Mattis, and I am the president of the Board of Trustees, a licensed practitioner, and a volunteer here at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I'm your presider today, so welcome. And for those of you joining us on Facebook, if you wouldn't mind hitting that button down at the bottom so that you can share this out to all of your Facebook friends, so that we can bring more of us together in the energy of spirit. I'll pause while you do that now. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. So here at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living, our vision is to contribute to a world that works for everyone. We are a diverse community of belonging and growth, sharing the light and joy within ourselves while learning to see it in others. Our work as a community here is to illuminate the spiritual truth that we all belong to each other, and that calls for us to be inclusive, to celebrate and embrace our unique identities, ability status, age, ethnicity, gender identity, national origin, physical characteristics, race, religion, and sexual orientation. Woo! Now that we've gone through all of that, I now invite you to set an intention for this week. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to sink into the feeling of that intention right now, right here, as you open to receive Spirit's guidance throughout our time together today. And for those of you on Facebook, please feel free to share your intention in the chat so that we can support you in the knowing of your truth. Great. We have a saying here at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living that singing or listening to music is like praying twice. So we begin each service with a song. And this morning we're so blessed to have guest musician Sahffi Lynne back with us. She is an intentional international medicine musician, vocal coach, retreat facilitator, and ceremony guide, offering their music, meditations, ceremonies, and teachings as medicine to illuminate our connection to our own divine inner knowing. Please join me in welcoming back Sahffi Lynne to Columbia CSL.
Take a journey to the inside of
Wow, thank you so much, Sahffi, for that amazing musical gift to kick off our morning on this beautiful Sunday morning. Thank you for the gift of you. As our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, taught, in principle, the great religions of the world do not differ as much as they appear to. That is why we take time each month, at the beginning of the month, to recognize and honor a variety of religions as sacred paths to God. I now invite our licensed practitioner, Io McClenny, to lead us in this sacred practice, Breaths of Faith. Io?
Good morning, everyone. So let's start by breathing in together as we honor each faith. As we take in the first breath, we honor Christianity as a path of love and forgiveness. As we take in the second breath, we honor Buddhism as the path of compassion and Four Noble Truths. As we take in the third breath, we honor Judaism as a path of ethical living through sacred law. As we take in the fourth breath, we honor Baha'i as a path of unity and peace. As we take in the fifth breath, we honor Islam as the path of surrendering to the will of God as the highest calling. As we take in the sixth breath, we honor Confucianism as a path of deliberate tradition. As we take in the seventh breath, we honor Taoism as the path of harmony and balance. As we take in the eighth breath, we honor all Indigenous peoples' traditions as paths that recognize and honor spirit in all of creation. As we take in the ninth breath, we honor Shintoism as a path of optimism and the inherent goodness of humanity. As we take in the 10th breath, we honor Hinduism as a path of knowledge, action, and devotion. As we take in the 11th breath, we honor Akan as a path that honors the divine, ancestors, and nature. And as we take in the 12th breath, we honor our own tradition, the science of mind, as a path of adherence to universal spiritual law and transformation through the commitment to our spiritual practices. And as we take in the final breath of this sacred ceremony, we invite you to hold sacred any and all faiths in all their multiplicity by knowing love as the highest power that guides them all. Namaste, and so it is.
Namaste, and so it is. Thank you, Io, for leading us in that sacred practice, the breaths of faith. If this is your first time experiencing the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living, we welcome you and thank you for joining us today. And we want you to know that whoever you are or whatever your spiritual path may be, you are welcome and celebrated here. There are a variety of ways to connect and engage with our fabulous community. We invite you to continue watching for our announcement roll at the end of service, where you will find updates on events and classes and all kinds of exciting things coming up. Links up to all the events can be found on our newly redesigned and fabulous interactive website calendar at columbiacsl.com/events, or you can email us at info@columbiacsl.com for more information. And now, let us consciously engage in spiritual practice together. I invite you to settle in, center yourself in this moment, here and now, and find that sacred place within where spirit is all there is. We will have a contemplative reading by Donald Lewis, followed by a guided meditation and affirmative prayer, once again by licensed practitioner Io McClenny. Donald Lewis?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Columbia CSL. The title of the reading today is Prosperity is Giving, Not Getting. Written by Reverend D. Petra Wells in the Science of Man magazine from March 2023. Reverend Wells begins with a short quote from Ernest Holmes. Love is the self-givingness of spirit into its creation. So often we're looking for love in all the wrong places. Outside of ourselves, in a partner, on the dance floor, at work, with a promotion, or sense of being part of the group. I spent years thinking love was something I wanted, so that meant I had to give it. I had to get it by someone giving it to me. And oh, the ways we try to get love, right? By being perfect, pretty, sexy, powerful, even too hard to get or too easy. Codependent or a people pleaser. And it's never enough, is it? It is Julia, if you have a copy of the reading, can you continue, please? I'm not able to continue.
Io, are you able to jump in and start our affirmative prayer and our meditation?
A little differently. I'm going to start with prayer right in this moment because
Please,
right
let's all
where
pray
we,
for Donald, please.
yes. So join me in holding forth our brother Donald, our loving brother Don, who every week thinks of us and prays with us as we pray with him and know that he is in this moment experiencing perfect health. In this moment, he is continuing with our service and with us. As we are holding him, he is holding us. The love that we share is deeper in this moment, and we carry it with us as we carry Don. We hold Don close, we hold one another close, we hold the world close. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you.
And in this moment, what I feel called to do is to ask if you would just relax and allow me to remind all of us what it is that we believe in our spiritual practice. And I'm going to do that by reading something that some of us may know as the principles or declarations of what we believe, which was originally written by Ernest Holmes. So please relax. If this is new to you, take it in. If it's not new to you, take it in. Let today be a day where we reestablish our understanding and connection with what we believe. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. We believe in the individualization of the Spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. We believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. We believe in the unity of all life, and the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who believe this indwelling presence. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone can become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. We believe in the healing of the sick and control of conditions through the power of this mind. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. We believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny, for we understand that the life of all is God. And what I've just shared with you is published every month in the Guide for Spiritual Living, Science of Mind magazine. So please join me in this affirming prayer. There is one spirit, one energy, one divine, invisible, powerful source that is the creator of all. As I know this for myself, I know this for anyone, anything that is here now, listening later, or completely unaware and oblivious to my being. And I know this for our brother Don. And I know this for each and every individual who may be experiencing something in their human body that we know does not align with the spiritual body. We are all powerful beyond belief. We are deeply loved, and we are lovable. We are loving. Love and kindness is all there is. And we demonstrate this by first living from it for ourselves. And we take simple spiritual practice steps, like reaching out to a friend, thanking someone, smiling, and offering prayers. In this moment where life is singing and ringing in my heart and in the hearts of all of us, for we are one, and I feel your singing and ringing. And I bless you for being here at this time with me. Just feeling the gratitude as my toes tingle and my ears tingle and my heart is beating out of my chest. For we, Columbia Center for Spiritual Living, are such a strong and powerful community. And all of our friends who are here with us, who yet, or maybe aren't going to officially become Columbia members, we're all one. Membership is not required to be a part of this loving party. And so I release these nothing words that I've said and command the feeling to stay forever and ever. Amen. Ashe. Aho. Amen. And so it is. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings to you too, Io. Thank you so much. And thank you, Donald and Io, for that beautiful time of spiritual practice. And for those of you who were with us, Donald is fine. He just had a momentary dizziness come over him. So good news that he is doing well. We've checked in with him. So thank you. Prayer works. It's a beautiful thing. And in this community, our licensed practitioners and ministers are eager to know the truth with you and for you. Feel free to email your request for prayer or counseling to prayer@columbiacsl.com, and we will hold you and your request in prayer throughout the week. And now, please help me welcome back our guest artist of the day, Sahffi Lynne.
Learning the ways of the wise ones.
Thank you, Sahffi Lynne. That was so beautiful. And thank you for sharing again your amazing talents with us. And now it's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, our own wise one, bringing in this new topic for the month, vulnerability, our senior minister and spiritual leader, Rafe Ellis.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Oh.
I love technology. It sends you messages so when you're in your vulnerability, you can correct it. So good morning, beloveds. And so we are entering into a month of exploring the power of vulnerability, which I think is quite perfect after a month of exploring authenticity. Because my experience, and I think the experience of most of us, is that authenticity is the birth of vulnerability. Our topic this morning is the real risk of vulnerability. And I believe it was Erica Jung who said, if you risk nothing, you risk even more. If we are to be our authentic selves, there will be risk. There is risk in this human realm for our human condition all the time, depending on how we define risk. We have professions that are built solely around helping us assess and navigate this whole idea of risk reward. Right? Because we are navigating both the spiritual experience and the human realm. This past week, many of you know, this past week I've been back here in California finishing up all of our packing and loading. And I have been very much aware all week of the vulnerability in this human realm of this activity. Because while we know each other, absolutely know each other, in the spiritual realm, and our connection is wholly based in the spiritual. We were drawn to each other. And in this human realm, it is a tremendous risk to let go of everything that I have experienced here, to let go of possessions, to invest a significant amount of financial resources into moving completely across the country. And it's a risk for the community to take a chance on this individual named Reverend Rafe Ellis, who you met and had some experiences with. And I think it's a really perfect platform to really begin to understand how our spiritual connection can supersede the mental thought processes of the risk in the human realm. And I want to invite you this morning to really begin over this next week to explore how you define risk. One of the things that I have done professionally is teach threat assessment. With my background in law enforcement and emergency medicine, threat assessment in this human realm is a thing, and it's a necessary thing. And it can get in the way because oftentimes what we're assessing through is our old filters. We're assessing with information that is being applied to a current situation that's really not applicable, right? We all have a past. We all have history. And when we try to apply history to the mystery, things get confused, things get conflated, things get distorted. And so that's where our spiritual practice comes in. And I think what I have most learned over my time here on planet Earth is that the solution, the comfort zone, if you will, for vulnerability is understanding my spiritual truth. Vulnerability, defined in the dictionary, is a risk of being hurt. Spiritually, nothing can hurt me. Spiritually, I can't even hurt myself. I can limit myself. I can contract myself in reaction to my thoughts. And that's one of the most beautiful parts of our teaching to me, and the simplicity of our teachings. Change your thinking, change your life. And as simple and oftentimes trite as that might sound, because trust me, when we are in the throes of the risk, when our faith is shaken, change your thinking, change your life can sound very trite. There is that place within us that goes, yeah, right. Thanks for that. And no, thank you. Right. And I invite you to embrace that space, to embrace it as fully human, to dive into that experience with the awareness that as you do, the very thoughts that are limiting you will come to your awareness so you know what to shift. And the very wisdom of creation will come to you to inform you of your next steps. Because our intuitive, our infinite intelligence also installed this process within us that knows how to navigate risk. Every living thing that has the ability to scurry away from physical danger does so. Having observed a lot of nature, I have noticed that humans are the only species that seem to argue with that instinct. And perhaps there is information there for us about what thoughts to change. Because it's that argument that increases our risk. So the real risk of vulnerability is living in separation. The real risk of vulnerability is telling ourselves we're not going to be vulnerable. The real risk of vulnerability is a refusal, is an unwillingness to be the divine being, the expression of divinity that we came here to be. And I think the only thing that stops us from being that is our unwillingness to know that. I've sat with a lot of people, and I myself have journeyed through that. And what I've experienced is that when the moment we become willing to really know what our inner call becomes, the firestorm of all of the consciousness that is in the way of that ignites. And all these thoughts compiling in, the whole list of why it won't work, why you can't do it, what other people will think, blah, 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 blah. Right? So, congratulations if you've experienced that, and maybe you haven't been accused of this recently or ever, but that makes you quite normal. This human thing that we're doing oftentimes argues with our spirituality, and that's okay. It helps us navigate both. Right? We cannot embrace oneness and ignore or separate our human from our spiritual. We are physical emanations of spirit. It knew exactly what it was doing when it created us as human. It's not a mistake. It's not something to avoid. It's not something to transcend. It is something to embrace as our spiritual embodiment. And so we care for our vehicle. And the analogy that has worked really well for me over the years is to understand that the both and it's really fresh with me as we get ready to embark on almost a 3,000-mile journey, is that my human self gets to ride in the passenger seat. My spiritual self takes control of the wheel. And all too often, our human self is driving, and our spiritual self is either on the side of the road or locked in the trunk. Right? And so we get lost on our way. The simple solution: pull over, switch positions, put our spiritual self behind the wheel. I learned a phrase back in practitioner studies: stop, drop, and pray. And so when something bursts into flames in our lives, stop, drop, and pray. And oftentimes our humanness will get in the way of that, especially reaching out and asking for prayer. A couple days ago, I was working on my boat and trying to get it situated, and yanked up on a cord with a really messed up angle, and it felt like everything in my shoulder exploded. And I knew the very first thing to do is stop, drop, and pray, and reach out to the ecclesiastical team of this center and ask for prayer. And immediately, you're the minister, you can't do that, you can't be that vulnerable, you can't let them know you, blah, 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 blah. And 10 seconds later, I was texting, please hold me in prayer for perfect healing, immediate healing. And over the last 48 hours, my shoulder has done whatever it needed to do to repair itself. And this morning, I woke up completely pain-free. If we risk nothing, we risk even more. The divine is calling you to be something magnificent. And so I offer you this as a starting place in the quiet of your own spiritual practice to ask, what am I to express? Not what am I supposed to do? Because doing, you can express your spiritual magnificence anywhere, anytime, doing anything. We in this human realm tend to relate our secular jobs to our spiritual, and we limit ourselves. See, if I think the only place I can be my spiritual truth is as a minister, I fail to understand my spiritual truth. Because that same spiritual truth gets to show up when I'm shopping for my groceries. It gets to show up when I'm frustrated because things are taking longer than my humanness thinks they should take. It gets to show up when I start projecting all of the things I'm thinking about myself onto other people and living in the narrative of what they think about me as if I don't already think that about myself. And when we can lean into, oh, this is just part of the process, to understand that ultimately what we risk by being vulnerable is losing all the lies that we have built our life on, that we have built our identity on. And so the greatest risk that I've experienced of vulnerability, the greatest loss that I've experienced, is a loss of the certainty of who I thought I was, a loss of the comfort of this investment, years and years and years of investment in becoming who I thought I was supposed to be, doing what I thought I was supposed to do, building the careers that I thought I was supposed to build, and feeling the mystery of letting go of all of that to find out who I really am. Now, your path may be very different. Finding out who you really are may not require that you give up your profession. You may have started out exactly where you're supposed to be. What I invite you to is an exploration, to a willingness to explore the discomfort of vulnerability, the discomfort of risk, the discomfort of truly living in the mystery. And to do that requires faith. Faith is the substance of the unseen but hoped for. Faith is that knowingness. It is beyond trust. It is a knowingness that no matter what, you can't lose you, because the substance, I love what it says, the substance. The substance is the thing itself. And our invitation is to live as God in form. And so when we're in that substance, when our human awareness is aligned with the consciousness of which we are made, amazing things that we can't even imagine happen. You, as an emanation of divinity, happen limitless, boundless, in ways that will literally blow your mind. And yes, in the process, you will have feelings. You will. And some of them you will like, and some of them not so much. Always know that feelings are simply reference points of our human experience. And when we change our thinking, we change our feeling, which changes our urges, which changes our actions, which changes our lives. Let's take this into prayer. And so I know in every fiber of my being, I know that there is one infinite, ever-present allness, that in the unformed substance, it is no thing. And out of that no thingness, it creates in multiplicity and becomes everything. Always both. Everything surrounded by no thing. Expanding itself in the newness of creation over and over and over and over again. I know this substance to be pure love, to be pure abundance, to be infinite intelligence. I know it to be things that in my humanness I can't even apply words to. And I know that I am that in form, being created out of it, by it, to be it, to experience it, to live in lockstep with it as it. I must be all that it is. And what is true of me is true of all life. And so I am knowing in this moment for our brother Donald that the divine intelligence, perfect beingness is expressing itself in his physical being. That divine intelligence guided him to say, I gotta go. And infinite intelligence reached out to check in on his physical well-being. That life is caring for life. And so I speak my word, claiming and affirming that everyone listening to this word, the word of the infinite, is leaning into a greater expression of their individualized divinity. That no two paths are the same, and all paths are so celebrated. I know that life, God, spirit, whatever we call it, is always nudging itself forward to be expressed. And so I speak my word, claiming and affirming that we each, in whatever capacity, whatever role we're in, are listening, and that we risk the vulnerability of feeling to say yes. Over and over again, we say yes to that divine nudge to simply be all that we came here to be. So grateful. Grateful to know that the word spoken is the word fulfilled, that there is no waiting period. And so I know that it is done just as quickly as the words are formed in mind before they're even spoken verbally. Law says yes and makes it so. And so we release, knowing that this time between the speaking of it and the revealing of it is simply a human element. And we trust that it's already done. And we step into each moment as it comes, looking for the evidence of completion of the word made physical. And so I release, I let go. And I invite you to join me. Own these words as your own as we say together, and so it is.
And so it is. Wow. Whew. Thanks, Rev Rafe. That was an amazing talk. So many nuggets I'm going to take away from this. I'm going to have to go back and watch it again, just plain and simple. But stop, drop, and pray. Thank you for that reminder. And we saw the demonstration itself today as we all stopped, dropped, and prayed for our dearly beloved Donald. Whew. Join us next week in person, as that man will be here at the Hawthorne Center. Rev Rafe's talk next week, it's going to be Easter, by the way, is Vulnerability, Cracks and Canyons. Our musician next week will be the amazing, the incomparable Felicia Taylor. And for those of you who cannot come to Maryland and join us in person, you can absolutely join us online via Livestream, as you are doing today. So one way or the other, make sure that you're here next week for Easter and for Rev Rafe and Deb Ellis's arrival once and for all in our fabulous state of Maryland as our senior minister. And now it's my pleasure to once again bring back the amazing, incomparable Sahffi Lynne for more music for healing for the soul. Sahffi?
Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. You have all you need, it's all inside of you. Close your eyes and breathe and know that you are safe. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery.
Wow. Thank you, Sahffi, for that fabulous song. We so appreciate your gifts and talents, and I just want to give you a quick shout out because I see that you are on Facebook Live with us right now. So thank you for sharing your gifts with us. So good to have you back. If you want to be blessed by Sahffi's music on a regular basis, you can purchase their CDs by visiting their website at www.sahffi.com. Whew, what a service. Boy, oh boy, I think you can all agree, what a service. We have just received, and now we get to practice the law of circulation by consciously giving back. I invite you to invoke feelings of love and gratitude and abundance, and allow them to fill you and the space around you. And now let's use the power of our word by speaking our prosperity affirmation together. I know that the infinite abundance of the universe is blessing and expanding my offering for the good of all. And so it is. We offer easy ways to donate your offering. You can make a one-time or recurring donation on our website at columbiacsl.com, and then just hit the donate button tab there, and it will give you a nice little drop down. Or you can text your donation to us at 410-498-6175. And we know that as we give, we receive, and we do so in great gratitude. That's the law of circulation. So please join me as we bless every gift bestowed upon the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. And again, please join me in reading, "Together we receive these gifts, knowing that they nurture and support our vision of contributing to a world that works for everyone." And so it is. Oh, we so appreciate every contribution and every tithe. Your support ensures that we remain a vital and thriving center for everyone's spiritual nourishment. On behalf of our entire community, we thank you for being part of our spiritual experience today. We look forward to seeing you again next week. At the end of the service, remember to stay online so you can view our announcement slides so you can keep informed on everything that is coming up. And just a quick reminder, this week, Tuesday, is our monthly women's group meeting that will meet virtually online. You can find the link to sign up for the women's group meeting and the links for all of our events in our newsletter and on our website, columbiacsl.com. And all you have to do is click on the calendar button. And if you're not currently signed up for our newsletter, you can use that same website to sign up and receive our weekly newsletter. And now it is my divine pleasure to bring back the amazing Rafe to close our service with an affirmation and a benediction for the week. Rev?
Thank you, beloveds. So one quick thing, when you're watching the announcements, I made a boo-boo on the slide for this coming Sunday, a week from today. It says it's virtual. That is untrue. We will actually be in person. So thank you for extending grace to me in my learning curve and over busyness. So I love that Sahffi's saying, let go of the shore. And so I invite you to, I'm going to say the affirmation twice. I invite you to just breathe, maybe even close your eyes and just listen to it one time, and then we'll say it together. I boldly walk through the archways of vulnerability into the full expression of divinity as me. Let's take a breath together and read that together. I boldly walk through the archways of vulnerability into the full expression of divinity as me. I love you. I will see you very, very soon. Have a great week.
Close my eyes, I open my heart. I'll take a deep breath, let the healing start. I lift my hands, I plant my feet, I let love in. I feel the beat that's calling us to rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. I let in my soul, I clear my mind. I'm here and now, in present time. The power of 1,000 suns lighting up the dark. Oh, we rise as one. Oh, rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. This noise makes sweet harmony. Come on and rise, oh rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. Oh, rise, rise, spirit rise up. That's why